Hello and welcome back to LCK Challenger League. We're here live at the Gen.G esports studio as this is going to be an interesting second match we have for you guys. It's T1 versus Liv Sandbox, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And we had a little floating black square to get us a little bit more hype as we go into this one.
I was just bugging a little bit. My AI's been a little bit.
He's been a little bit
I need
wonky.
a new patch, yeah.
I'm looking forward to this one. I think it could be, well, I was going to say this would be our closest series of the day, but actually the previous series might just take the cake with how close that third game was after back and forth, you know, two one-sided games, game 1 and 2. This series, I expect the level of play to drop just a little bit. These teams are both not going to playoffs, so it is, you know, just going to be a battle for standings and for fun.
Fun!
That's what I want in my challengers.
League
fun.
of Legends. So do we get to see Aatrox here in this match?
I hope so, because we didn't see him at all in the last one, like even a little bit. Turns out Aatrox's kit didn't change, just his wave clear, you know? Not really feeling great about that.
That's very important.
It is, but I don't know if what he does as a champion necessarily going to impact things. I was kind of like, I think we're going to see him because people are going to, you know, it's Korea, so oftentimes there's one small buff and they're like, he's broken now. We have to play him every time.
True.
And that might still happen in LCK, but so far in Challengers, he has been absent. Maybe it's just because he's still Aatrox at the end of the day, has some pretty clear weaknesses. Not wave clear as much, but...
Yeah. Well, into Jax, I think Jax can definitely do a number, and maybe if that's hanging, they just don't want to pick it up, and then we see a lot of Renekton picks, and then they're like, I don't really want to play Aatrox into that either, so we're just like, maybe not. With the rest of the pool, just very good against the Aatrox, they're just not really touching it just yet. But it could be that we have it here in the second series, because we had some decent drafting in the first one. I say decent because there were some holes here and there, but we got across the line at the end of the day. And Liv Sandbox versus T1, I don't think that's going to quite have the same.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get across the line this time. But
very far behind the line. Yeah. Perhaps.
So we have some exciting news in this series, but we'll keep it a secret for as long as we can. This one's going to be a very fun one. I think that when you consider how Liv Sandbox have been playing recently, I would actually give them the edge, even though we did see T1 2-0 Guangdong Freaks. That was their last match. They did look good there. But I think Liv Sandbox still the stronger team. Not strongest, but of the two, the strongest. As over here, standard lineup, no crazy subs or anything like that.
Yeah, crazy not playing in this one, as Diox got a thing that says basically, thank you for cheering for us all season long.
Yeah, everyone's got a nice message here for all the fans who've been cheering for them. I really like that, considering it's their last stage match of the season.
Yeah, basically just a lot of pretty straightforward, simple stuff. Like playing base one is like the cool kids.
Thanks for being with us, the cool kids, this summer.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to see this. This is like the new meta in Korean esports for the players to actually hold signs up to the camera when they come on screen.
I like it. Also for the fans to hold the fan signs. What are the fan signs that the players hold?
I mean, sometimes the players
signs?
give the fans the signs. Sometimes the team writes them for them. Sometimes they write them themselves. It just depends on the scenario. You know, in this case, it looked like maybe it was written by the org.
I was saying, what are the signs that the pros hold? What are they called? They're not called fan signs.
Yeah,
pro signs?
We came up with a term for it, but I can't remember what we were calling them. There is a term for it in Korean, though, and maybe Yundo will write it, because I think we had this exact scenario happen last time, but Poby's in! That's my man Poby, he's back in Challengers! He's down there! That's not nice!
Games.
Does that mean Faker's playing in LCK this week? Is that what it means? That's generally what it means.
What does it mean? What did T1 mean by this?
I think they mean that Faker's coming back.
What if Nice plays in LCK? I mean, it is possible.
What if Sky plays in LCK? No, I think it's very likely that it's
what if
either
Fly
Poby
descends from his mountain and he takes the mantle. He's like, I'll take it from here.
I think it is very likely that it will be either Poby or Faker playing in LCK this week, but usually when an LCK player shows up in Challengers, it means their counterpart will be playing in LCK that week. That's generally what it means.
I think Poby will be happy to be out of the spotlight here for a little bit. To say, okay, I did my part, but that was a bit too much for me. I'm back down in Challengers. I'll take my time now to power up into the future.
Let's take a look at this top matchup, Dahyuk versus Dahl. Notice the overlap in champion pool with the Jax and the Kasante. Pretty common picks right now in this meta, but Dahyuk not really playing the Renekton all too much, so definitely one that could stand out for us, as the Gwen has been kind of the answer we've seen to Kasante for him. Played it 4 times this season. See if it ends up working out, or if they end up playing it again, because it has some clear weaknesses, especially with the prevalence of champions like Maokai right now in this meta.
How good is Poby going to be today? Do you think after kind of taking a beating in LCK, he comes back, he's leveled up? It's like the opposite of the Challengers level up.
I actually think he probably plays well, right? Like, I think he probably learned a lot. The way he looks at the game is going to be a little bit different, and, you know, he's going to have, in a lot of ways, the weight of all that pressure gone, and he's going to play against a weaker mid laner in Guti than what you're going to find in the LCK, so I think he's going to look good. I feel good about it.
Yeah, me too. Well, let's see how this draft is going to go. So far looking very similar to what we saw in the first series. Nothing too crazy just yet, although I'm not holding my breath on not seeing some crazy stuff. I do want to see the Aatrox, but we might just not get it today. Just might not happen. Xayah ban.
Xayah, they're really targeting Smash here quite a bit, and might also indicate they want to play a dive style similar to what we saw in our previous series. Rel going to be gone, so let's see if it's going to be Renekton or Jax first pick like we've been seeing. Ooh, Vi. Going to prioritize that instead, and
Vincenzo.
Feels like a Maokai Jace angle. Poby, we know how much he likes his Jace. We know how much T1 loves Maokai Jace comps in general, whether Poby is playing or not. I'll pick the Renekton here instead. Could definitely still go for a Maokai, but all right, we're not doing that. It's just not happening. Nico suddenly, in the last series, completely absent. This series, high priority.
Okay. Well, I do think this is more correct. And Nico in the jungle alongside a Renekton is a fantastic duo. I mean, Renekton is such a strong lane to gank for, and yeah, there is a lot of stuff you can pick up on the top side, like maybe he just plays Kasante and he's like, yeah, try to gank me now, haha. Well, let's see, because the Ahri left available, Ahri Vi is going to be the choice here for Live Sandbox. Do they pick their top laner here, or with the cut-off Xayah, do they aim to target the bottom lane?
I'd say if you want to get Jax, better grab it now. That's what they're going to do. So, sad, because if we actually see the AD carry here, then maybe Jax gets banned away, then we go down to that Aatrox. But no, not going to happen.
I think Jax is a little bit more susceptible to Nico ganks, but obviously has a stronger side lane as the game goes along.
What if it's Nico mid?
Could be.
It is Nico mid.
It is
apparently.
Nico mid.
Could have definitely not
also
been.
Strong.
Yeah, Nico pretty good into Ahri in the early game as well, as long as you don't end up taking too many bad trades with Electrocute. The Viego, very strong for a comp where you're kind of trying to set up for picks with the Nico engage. Renekton gets on top of somebody, and when they're diving on you, they're coming at your Nico. It's pretty easy to then blow up the Ahri or the Vi and get that reset for the Viego and then play the team fight out front to back. So I do like the comp. Rakan gone. There's not a ton of 80 carries left here. See what Live Sandbox want to target since T1 have pick priority.
And cut off more of Smash's picks, like the Varus. What else? Do you think they ban a Draven in any world? Draven doesn't, it feels like it's fallen off in a big way, but Smash definitely picks that up from time to time.
I feel like Draven's pretty good for the Sandbox's comp too, because they have such a aggressive front line and dive. So maybe not going to ban that one. I don't think T1 will either. Alistar going to be banned away. Rel's gone too, so Plan B thinned out a little bit here in terms of what he's going to be able to play. The Nautilus is still open. By the way,
Live Sandbox, they have lost the last 5 series, but the last 6 series they have played in, all 2-1s.
Yep.
The 9-game dream alive.
Ashe gone here. The Nautilus pretty safe. Works with pretty much anything. And so they can react now to what Live Sandbox is going to pick up here. Might just be an Aphelios for T1, honestly. I mean, it's not exciting, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. So not the Draven, but the Lucian. Similar idea here for Live Sandbox. Lots of burst and up in front damage.
Kind of need. Well, that's okay.
Engage Braum. Braum's pretty terrible in the Nico.
What? Why are they picking Braum?
We do not love the Braum here.
What? What? Well, where am I?
I don't really like this pick. Gonna be honest with you guys. I think we're maybe being a little bit too honest, but
I mean, the Ezreal last pick is, it's like throwing Live Sandbox a bone. They're like, here, we'll give you one champ that the Braum is kind of okay into.
Yeah.
Lucian does apply Braum passive, yes.
I would have rather seen
True.
an Aphelios here for T1, but
Yeah.
especially considering Smash's playstyle. But I still overall like their draft a lot more because it's Braum and Lucian. Feels like it has a timer on what its usefulness is going to be, and you have to win this game so hard as Live Sandbox in the early game, and then just never make a mistake, never get Nico engaged on. Uh-oh, its challenger's probably going to happen. Ezreal, if he ends up getting 2 kills in the mid game and starting to fly off the handle, later game range problem here for Live Sandbox is pretty big, pretty significant. And Ezreal is like, oh, Vi ulting on me, I'll just Arcane Shift back to the rest of my team and split your team in half by getting engaged on.
Yeah, I mean, at least Lucian Braum can have some lane dominance, but if they are not crushing lane, I don't want to see it. Also, why pick Braum if you're trying to crush lane?
I mean, you can still play Nami, it's still viable. You could play Lucian Yumi. Lucian Yumi is a thing. Like, not Braum. Just don't do Braum here. Play Leona, it's okay. Like, Leona's fine. Actually, really good for this comp. Don't do Braum.
Yeah, Leona would have been nice. Really like the Leona. But anyway, we are getting ready for this one. We knew that the draft was going to bring some surprises, and a lot of our lower teams,
Lucian Taric,
they really do struggle in the second half of draft. Like the first half, I'm like, okay, sure. Second half, it's like, what happened? But
yeah, when there's a lot of bans, the teams kind of do stumble a little bit.
Maybe just drafting more for comfort. Not 100% sure. All right.
Alrighty then. Okay
All
then.
right. Okay.
Scorch online here for Poby.
He Plan B also went bone plating unflinching, so not going to be very tanky as the game comes along. Thankfully, he's got a door. About to go for the same thing. Saw the Scorch here for Poby.
Checking to see what he locks first. I betting it's the Q. Well, it's not. Obviously, it's going to be Q. But
well, at level 1, you want to hold and wait.
I know.
He's gonna max it, and we're gonna be sad.
I just, you know, the observers clicked on it, so I was like, they were curious too, just in case he didn't go Q first. But he's gonna wait because you never know what's gonna happen until those minions clash, and you can lock in your Q and put that harass on. But Braum, Lucian, I'd like to zoom in on that a little bit down here, because, yeah, there's the first Q. Ezreal, he pokes, okay? He pokes, the Nihilus engages, and Braum getting concussive to hit, like you can proc that as Lucian, as you were mentioning, but will you? Not without help.
Yeah,
Vincenzo,
I mean,
I'm looking at you.
It is challengers, so I could see a world where like Bout engages. I feel like you're never engaging. Like as Bout, you're just kind of sitting there. You're like, okay, let's get through this lane. Let's chill out. And because if he engages, he's gonna get stunned immediately. And at least he has aftershock. But like, you have Ezreal, right? Unless you do some significant poking first and you get that Lucian blow or something. I don't think you're ever really trying to force 2v2 trades and like trying to go in on this one as the T1 bot lane, but it's challenges, baby. You never know.
Yeah, and as you can see here, they, as you say, after level 1, will not be engaging. They will just sit under turret. So Some early prio here, bottom side. Top side, Dahl getting pushed in by the Jax a little bit. A lot of resources here for both teams in mid, but Poby getting the better of that, because that's what Nico early game is like into Ahri, unless you end up getting electrocute procced multiple times, like we were talking about earlier in the draft. So that's not happening at the moment. Is Dahl actually going to get a nice little slice and dice here, trading health like that?
He's going to do. He's going to get the slow push into the turret.
Is he going to proxy?
Do you know what comes next?
Is he going to proxy about this? I think he's going to proxy.
Valid poked for some reason. Don't do that. It actually ended up okay. Okay. It actually ends up really nice. Gets the double root in here. The Q gonna land on the smash now though, so with stun being held up. And with Forest here, they're just gonna let that one go.
Yeah, I think that's why they decided, okay, we can push this out because Forest's here, force it back. And they were able to get the cleanse as well. Will be at the cost of Bout's flash, so we'll keep an eye on that if that ends up being relevant later. As Plan B wants to stick around, try to hold this wave so that when Diablo gets back, he won't be sad, as he does have a coal buy. That's why he, or that's one of the things you can do when you back like this, is at least to get something out of it. Not going to be too significant though for a matchup you want to be trying to push advantages in early. And I mean, is this the end of the world that they picked the Braum here? No. But were there better options? Yes. And I think we're kind of hung up on it a little bit because, you know, we're kind of perfectionists over here. Like, we cast the LCK. We
just expect a lot.
Yeah, we expect a lot of these players in these drafts, and sometimes it doesn't happen. So let's see with what we've been dealt here. What's going to happen is Vincenzo?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get the big one. And then he's going to back away as over the wall comes Bout. The root comes in. Goody in a lot of trouble. Flash auto gets the job done. Feels like maybe even the Ignite would have gotten it. But Poby is going to pick up first blood with the help of his brother Bout.
You know, flash for first blood rather than getting the assist. I think you'll take that in this matchup. You already get the flash out of the Ahri anyways, so feels like a pretty nice win here. It's not like the Ahri is going to be abusing the fact that you're down flash here, as Bout just unseen, no vision here whatsoever, no coverage for Guti. X-Flash, and he goes, root, hook. That was actually really clean. Follow flash for Poby. And yeah, I mean, the LCK trained this player up, but it's really not a Poby play. It was a Bout play, but at least he was able to secure the kill.
Got him. Duped, scammed, outplayed.
I'm always shocked that this happens, but it does happen.
See?
Yeah. He's got level 6 now, and
Alva! There it is.
Guti has to be careful about potentially getting 100 to 0'd, or in this case, like 65 to 0'd, since he took all of that damage from the initial root. He was chugging through those corrupting pots quickly. As T1 will be able to get the first Drake.
What do you think corrupting pot tastes like? Oh, Dahl's going to go in on this one. He's going to ruin my talking point as he maybe gets a kill on the Dahyuk, but a little bit too close to the turret with flash available.
I think it probably tastes like an energy drink. That's kind of how I imagine it, like a little bit sweet.
Energy drinks are kind of corrupted, aren't they?
Yeah. You know what you're getting yourself into. Like,
yeah.
It's a temporary gain you're going to get, but, you know, you're going to, after it wears off, you're going to be like,
If that root landed, Goody dies?
Yeah, 100%.
So,
close call.
He's playing with fire here.
I mean, look at how much, like, Poby, he's playing a pretty favorable matchup, but I mean, look at how much pressure he's put on here with Forest's help, and they're going to continue that.
Poby's going in. He's looking for this one. Lands the double root, sets up the play, immediately gets turned on and dies. As now, Forest trying to lead the charge here. He's going to go down. That's 2 kills now to the side of Liv Sandbox, as this fight was not executed very nicely, and the Braum is actually getting a lot of value in a fight like this, where 1 by 1, the players are going down here. Smash trying to go into 3 people with Diablo at full health. That's not a good idea. Liv Sandbox pick up 3 kills.
Yeah, well, this all starts off here with Forest, you know, contesting with this Scuttle, and then Poby decides, okay, we have 2 people here, gets the root, follows up, so it's a lot of damage he thinks he has to actually win this fight instantly, but you're fighting into early game Lucian Braum and Ahri, who has ultimate as well. It's not really the play, unfortunately, to hard commit there. And we were giving Poby so much credit for his laning phase, of course with Forest's help, but this backfired quite significantly. Now, T1, this is not the end of the world because it's still a massive advantage for Poby in the mid lane. But the Lucian got relevant, which is kind of the worst thing that could happen for T1 against this comp.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's really rough. I mean, I think it's not really like a Poby issue. Like, yeah, he is the first one who died, and he did get isolated by the Braum. But, like, he's Nico. He's setting up the play. And then the follow-up from the team was like, oh, yeah, we'll just come in slowly. Like, it was not crisp at all. Like, if you're going to make a play like that, he needs some back on this. Now we do have a follow-up here. Big root onto that front line as the Vi is going to go down. This time it's Diehug getting low, and he will be on the run as T1 will secure the objective. And, you know, very nice turn from them.
Without the Pop Blossom available, they do it. So Poby still had that one on cooldown. It's coming back up now. And it's just a one fight here. We'll see how this all broke out as Poby and Bout have control here, and they are going to be able to avoid the Braum and actually get the engage off here onto the Vi. As Diehug counter-strike this, ends up needing the True Shot Rush. So they win this without Pop Blossom and without Ezreal. So pretty huge win for T1. And that's a lot of money that's going to be back now in their pockets. They take a huge gold lead. Renekton picking up some plate gold. And it's challenges, baby. We're swinging it right back.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, you can get a small lead, but if you don't... We all know this. Like, we've all played League of Legends to some extent. You can be very far ahead, and if somebody goes in alone, or if the fight is not crisp, or if somebody gets blown up immediately and makes it 4v5, everything changes. And in the LCK, it's really clean, right? Generally, you're not going to see that happen. If it does happen, it's generally like a really good play set up by the team that's losing. But in Challengers, this often happens where it's like, okay, the fight's not going to be clean. Somebody's going to go in first. Somebody's going to be way too far forward. We've already seen it a couple of times. And, you know, just as T1 won the last fight, maybe Live Sandbox take the next one. You never know. It's Challengers, baby.
With all of the gold that's been spread around T1 in this fight, like, it's not going to really make them explode here in this mid game. It's not like, okay, Nico now has 3 kills and she's just super fed and she's going to do way more damage, so...
Did you say 12.14 again?
No, what?
Oh, I thought Zormi was meaning it.
No.
I didn't hear you say it.
No.
Sorry.
Anyway.
So
I do think that the game state is still pretty good here for Live Sandbox because Lucian's still relevant and he's got an Ahri and a Vi. But the setup has to be better, right? Like the execution, as we always say, the execution. It's a big execution. Execution.
It all comes down to execution, Wolf.
Yeah. Crazy to less Lee Sin being played, you know, as a result of that, man. He's got that execute damage. Where's Pike? You know, where's the execution?
Where's Pike? Who are these champions?
Ah,
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be voice acting Nico anytime soon. But Annie, I got that one down.
Dive topside while this is happening.
Big calling comes in. That's a little bit of a stun there on Smash.
Good flash.
Anyway, here is the follow-up onto the top side. Diehug just waiting, goes in for the counter-strike. Hits both of them. The timing not really crisp on that one, but they get the kill. Stahl will be fed.
So Dahl is, he's having a good time. You know, the Renekton in this range of levels here is pretty strong. Just the Sheen isn't always going to be enough to get Jax back into a good spot. And with Demolish, he's picking up tons of plate gold here. And, so bottom side play fails. Top side successful. It's Infernal Soul.
Uh-oh.
And that's pretty good for the Ezreal comp. I mean, it's good for both
fiery
comps,
start to this one.
Really easy for Ezreal and Nico to proc that, though. So if that ends up coming to pass, it's going to feel really good. Also, I think the solo Chemtech Dragon, or Hextech Dragon, is going to be more valuable than the solo Cloud in this game, especially for the Nico and the Ezreal. And Herald wasn't even used for that topside play.
Even you didn't expect him to go in on that one, and he did. And it ends up working out. Par is going to pick up that kill. Well deserved, to be honest. That one was kind of tricky. I mean, he was just standing there. He's like, there's no way the Viego goes in on this one. But actually, the follow-up this time from T1 was really nice.
Yeah. So they are picking up plate gold mid, picking up kills. Top side, Dahl has his Gore Drinker now. Didn't even teleport back to lane, caught the wave. Has teleport advantage. T1 in a pretty fantastic spot in this game. The kill score makes it look close, but so far really not. And the solution was gifted 2 kills in that awkward early game fight, but hasn't been relevant otherwise because T1 are just finding angles to fight without the Lucian being nearby. They're catching the Braum in the jungle. Stuff like that is absolutely how you can find advantages in this early game via just proactive play. Poby, man, he's back. He's making aggressive calls. The first one, second one, all right. Alrighty.
Again, I still feel like the first play was like, yeah, it was a little bit over-aggressive, but if the team is there and everybody's in on the play with the Pop Blossom, I think it's fine. But the fact that the entirety of Live Sandbox are just like, okay, cool Pop Blossom, now 3 of us are going to turn onto the Nico and nobody's there to help her, like, I don't really, to be honest, I don't really like it.
I think he also just thought he had more damage, but it's early game, so he's like, I got him with the double root and the Pop Blossom, and wait, they didn't take any damage. Like,
and then
wait
they
a
just
second.
turned on me, and then, yeah. There's that too, for sure. What's the gap in skill between LCK and CL in terms of league ranks? Generally, a lot of the Challenger League players are in Challenger, funnily enough. I mean, solo queue is a totally different beast to pro play.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
you can
I think
be like a top solo queue player, but not in LCK. That happens all the time.
Did he maybe mean like if you put it in terms of like in terms of league ranks, is it like challengers to masters, or I don't know if that's what he meant. Like
it's probably like high diamond to grandmasters.
Yeah. If you want
Challenger
like,
to master, maybe
something like that. It's a pretty big gap though, honestly. So we're still a ways away. You have to kind of get onto an LCK team and learn how LCK pros play. It's a teleport flank here from Nico.
Nice engage again from Val. The True Shot Barrage will be dodged, but Vincenzo has to go forward. He uses free food. In goes Goody, but it's late. And again, the coordination is not there from Live Sandbox. They're trying to fight these fights, but T1 are set up and on the objective, and you're going in 1 by 1.
Yeah, really late join from Guti. Poby gets the flank, but I think they win the fight, frankly, even without him. But he's down to go in as soon as Bout calls. He's got a good engage angle here. As Bout comes in, as Poby is teleporting. And look at the timing, how late the Ahri teleport is. He's not able to deny a teleport or anything like that onto Poby either. And Vincenzo is in no man's land. You can't be there without your team. I mean, Braum getting caught, that's common, right? That's going to happen all the time. You're the support, you have to be in the front. But going in on that, basically 2v5, it felt like wasn't really the way to play it out. I guess you could say 2v4, but a bit messy. And lots of gold, more of it just trickling into T1's pockets here.
Yeah, team fight by team fight. And Forest has had some ego games where we're like, okay. And then he's had some Viego games where we're like, whoa,
okay,
this guy's okay.
Yeah,
all right.
There's okay and okay.
Okay. All right, Forest. I see you. And then there's like, okay.
Bout's someone in the chat saying it could be Bout POG angle. I mean, I'm kind of feeling it right now if things continue as they are. He's had a pretty good game. But so is Forrest, so is Dahl, and Poby, you know, outside of one blemish, which again, as you mentioned several times, isn't really fully his fault. It's been playing well too. Like T1 just as a whole looked like the much stronger team tonight.
That's the sound. Hitting the second turret. It's now Braum. Yeah, in a little bit of trouble. There's the follow-up with the depth charge. Just feels free. He catches Diablo right on the cusp of it, as maybe going a little bit too far. Here's the flank coming in, as the poking from the culling did a big number. Now they are kiting the correct way as the charm coming in, but the rehook is there from the Nautilus. As now Vincenzo a little bit alone. He's got Goody around with him as Forrest just trying desperately to catch them out, but not quite enough as the root comes in from Poby. But now we have a TP. The Jax is flanking them as Smash is just kiting it out so excellently. Will finally pick up that last kill, and Poby, in fact, will get away from the Jax. Dahyuk not able to get any value for his teleport.
Smash trying to Captain Jack his way out of that one as well. That was actually such a sick play from him, and that challenges baby.
That's
out
challenge,
hands
baby.
him, hands dipping, and I mean T1 go a little bit too deep, but then I love how it's like T1 go too deep, right? And then it's like this escape mission. It's a rescue mission. Like how many of us can get out alive? It's once again Bao just proving that the Braum, we didn't love it here. T1 don't love it here. They're gonna show why. And then Smash in this fall here when Vincenzo comes down, he gets away from the rest of his team, and he's just constantly putting in damage. He takes out Plan B, and then no, it did not. Vincenzo loses half of his health by the Smash. And look at this. Bam, autos him down into the bush. Cleanse here preemptively. Kobe doing some additional damage as well, and he is able to take out the Ahri just by maximizing damage there. It's a trade of kills. Double KO.
So, in Ezreal, in a very broken down fight, in a challengers level fight, gonna look good even early on, you know? You get a lot of value, many Qs, you're resetting, stuff like that. Sure, fine. You still like the Ezreal in the draft? Not really. I mean, it's fine, there weren't a lot of options.
I love it in fights like this with Viego, you know, and
if you can avoid anything happening really in the laning phase, then, you know, as the game comes along, it's gonna be nice. And, yeah. I mean, this is... T1 are pretty sufficiently far ahead in this one. You know, it is challengers, but especially in the top lane as well, like Diag has just not been able to get any value, and this Renekton is massive. We haven't even really realized the Renekton value just yet in any team fights. His culling is going to come out. Looks like Smash will go down. Double teleport immediately as we are trying to chase the Lucian here. Forest not going to be able to do that as the stun not even going to land post-mortem. As meanwhile, as Goody is pushing the bottom lane.
All right, this is just a weird game now.
We've gone full challengers.
We have.
It's 8th versus 9th in challengers.
It's 2 80 carries trying to 1v9. It feels like all these moments. As now 4 in 1 is Diablo. As turns out that if Smash gets caught and gets ulted, there's not much he can do into a Vi here. And he's just dead. Diablo then he's like, oh, I can just flash this. And ranged versus melee, I know who my money's on. As you mentioned, the stun didn't land. He gets out because of it. Hobie not able to find him over the wall. And still pretty good position here for T1, but hey, proactively finding a pick there. Ezreal thinks he's safe in mid because he's Ezreal, but not against Vi.
And imagine if Diablo had a real engaged support, someone that could actually enable the Lucian to hit those extra damage, that extra passive, to actually engage, but instead he's got Braum that's going for Radiant Virtue at the slowest pace physically possible. I don't think... I can't get over it, Wolf. I can't.
It's okay.
I hate the Braum here.
I hate the Braum here too.
I'm the opposite. I don't love it. I hate it.
I hate it too. I don't like it at all.
Well, Dahl is in a little bit of trouble, but
I mean,
he respects it.
Yeah, he could have been in trouble, but actually he's totally fine.
Did he max Q? No doubt.
I don't know. Probably.
All right, they got the stun. The engaged Braum is coming out. There's the culling, and now a real engaged support will take over. That's the end of the Lucian. Vincenzo goes in while there's a Heartbreaker going on, as now in a little bit of trouble is the Viego. They burst him down. Goody is here. This game is an absolute travesty. Yes, they are going to take a triple kill for Smash. As, you know, a bunch of people running at the Ezreal. He's having a great time.
All right, Yundo, show us the Braum skills. Click on that Braum portrait.
Of course he max Q.
Nah,
He's playing with Lucian.
I want to confirm, all right, as
Braum
maxing Q engages onto Bout, and then Bout's like, but I am actually real, and I have Radiant Virtue, and then he uses it and turns around, and then Smash is like, hey, wait a minute, a skirmish? I'm Ezreal. The enemy AD carry is dead? You guys can't stop me. No one can stop me. There's no lockdown for this Ezreal.
Sajax just checked on LoL Esports. He maxed Q.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Or Sajax, you guy.
What does Braum has to max? Well, generally you want to max E because it halves the cooldown at max rank, and it also reduces a lot more damage. Yeah. The Q is like, you know, Braum is a disengaged support mainly, so you kind of want to not just level Q randomly for like a tiny decrease in cooldown and a bit more damage.
It's basically
You're not
like
supposed to be doing damage as support.
you're basically just trying to outdamage the support in the post-game graph, like maxing Q. Like, I did it. Yeah, I did 4,200, did 3,600. It was me, plan B.
Yeah.
It's
Now-
okay, but you know, we don't really like it that much.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of people asking about Poby if he's going to play in LCK. We have no idea, so we're just as much in the dark as you guys.
But I would tell you that based on patterns, it seems likely that Faker will be playing because Poby is here, but we don't know that for a fact, so.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Faker isn't feeling ready and Poby plays in the first match and then Faker plays in the second. Who knows?
But based on Tom, interim head coach Tom's interview, he said it's not impossible and not even unlikely for Faker to play in the final week of the regular season. So, I don't know. Seems
There you
likely
go.
Faker's playing. But we don't know. Running fast is dull. Thank you for the scuttle speed.
The real Faker was the friends we made along the way.
True.
Yeah. That's the truth. As always, it's about the journey,
So,
not the destination.
no contest of this Drake. They didn't have any vision. Jack's just like, oh, they're doing it.
Well, they're ulting the Nautilus though. What did they mean by this? Anyway, that's going to be the end of Plan B. And Vincenzo just on the run.
He should get out.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't even have to flash.
No, I don't think he will,
No.
actually.
Phobia's going to catch him. He's got
Yeah.
blast plant. More action, Valdez. More plants, more action.
Yes. No. Here is Smash. Okay, flash over the wall, plant. Can we deny some action? No, Forrest is here. Gets on top of him, the Heartbreaker is there, and now he is 5. And now they are Baron.
So, Liv Sandbox decided not to show up for Drake, and then they hard forced to play topside with engaged support Braum. And fortunately, that caused them to lose the fight, and they will get a turret at least. And two turrets at least. Bounty gold at least. But Baron and Dragon, Soul Point for Infernal Soul. They skipped the Cloud Drake. They were like, nah, that's not that good for us. Going Hex Tech and damage only. Yeah, it's not looking very possible to come back in this one. Unfortunately, Liv Sandbox fans, Liv Sandbox youth, having a bit of a puzzling Braum pick, and like we keep going back to it, but it's just so obvious, and the way they're playing to where they're just actually playing him as engaged Braum is the part that makes it the most painful, where you have to, because if they just tried to play differently and tried to play around Nico and maybe like re-engage with the Braum or try to use him to peel a little bit, it's hard to do that in this comp, but if they tried to do it that way, we'd be like, well, okay, they tried something different, but they're kind of doing the opposite of what he's supposed to do, which is what makes it a bit frustrating.
Braum is normally good into Nautilus. Well, I'm glad that's the case. Said Valdez, dripping with sarcasm. No, it's okay.
This is not normally.
We don't think it was a good pick, but sure. Here is the engage. Huge ult comes in from Poby. They just want to end this. As now the Jax will be TPing, but he will not finish that TP. Actually, he did somehow. Okay, that's going to be him flashing away now as the engage does come in. Bout looking to get a huge knockup, does pull that one off. The Counter-Strike is getting a lot of value. In goes Smash, though. Right after that Counter-Strike is done, he is not afraid of anything. As one more Q just barely going to hit the tail of the Ahri, but that is not going to be enough to actually get that one down. 1E in, the charm is there. He might actually die. Down he goes to the true damage. Because now the rest of the team is left trying to end this game. Root comes in, and that should be the end with the Oba to take out Guti with the Renekton on top. There you go. Down will go the Nexus as T1 will take game 1.
Poby's not messing around. Forrest having a good game. Dahl dominating the Jax. Smash popping off in skirmishes. And Bout just winning out every support battle. It's a pretty tough POG vote, to be honest. T1 just in every role, hard carrying. So it's, if they're all carrying, or any of them carrying, I guess not really, but Poby with the final engage here to siege up and end the game. Feels really sad
Definitely
for Smash.
Support voter.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Smash in this final moment, dying a little bit sadly to the Ahri. Feels like finally at least Guti was able to get his revenge. This is going to be the moment here where he dodges this with the W, gets the heal. Aw, I thought we were going to watch the whole thing. Nah, we're going straight to post-game. Look at the Braum Q damage, though. 6,400.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, he
Still
did more
below
damage
the
than
Nautilus.
Vi. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, in this game, the Q slows are going to be really helpful to get the Lucian to do things, but I don't know, guys. The problem wasn't the build on the Braum this time, the skilling. It was the Braum in the comp and how they tried to use it, but
Also,
I think they'll learn.
Yeah, also Live Sandbox, they got that first good play where they kill like 3 members of T1 in the bottom river, but after that, every team fight was like, they're going in 1 by 1. Okay, we've got this Braum, we're going to hold the door, let's go in, and kind of funneling into that first Rift Herald was a big issue.
Yeah.
And from there, T1 actually rolled with their lead pretty well, so did a very good job in this first game.
I also think that because Live Sandbox kind of donate a lot of those advantages, if we go to a game 2 with a similar draft, we could have a completely different outcome. I hope Live Sandbox will change up their draft going into game 2, but they might not. But it is challengers. It is a snowball that T1 pulled off here, so you know, I don't think this means we're in for necessarily a one-sided series by any means. Definitely could be the 9 games still possible, so don't count it out just yet. Move that 4 out of 9 with a popcorn into the chat as we're potentially going in.
4 out of 9 games, but also 4 out of 9 Nautilus.
Yeah,
so
true.
We've got that streak going on as well. No other champion has... Actually, maybe Renekton? Has Renekton been played in every game? I think it has.
So, yeah, I think so.
So those are the only 2 right now. And it's Poby. You know, he did hit a lot of nice ults, and wasn't our votes, but sure.
I mean, like I said, it's a tough POG vote because everybody had such a high impact. I voted for Smash. I thought he had some pretty incredible mechanical plays.
Bout actually robbed.
Bout a little bit robbed.
His turns, his ults were so clean. Hit every single hook.
It was, for me, like Bout or Smash. Poby had some pretty good moments as well, though, and he was super decisive the whole game. Hit a lot of roots. Like, he was hitting roots all the time.
Mid 1 diff with ADC and support.
Wow.
I think I know where Yunda voted. Mid. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I thought it was, all 3 are pretty good. I even think that Renekton and Diego, like top and jungle, makes sense as well. He said no. He
said no. This was a, 13 assists. Just helping out the team in the best way possible. That's not what Yunda voted for, okay? He voted for
Poba!
Poba!
I like it.
Yeah.
Poby, I feel like you could definitely feel he is a lot more confident after LCK, which I think is the good outcome to have from what was a fiery few weeks of play for him. You know, he was put into the trials and the tribulations of playing against some of our best mid laners, and it wasn't easy, but I think he definitely has come out of it stronger for it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that was game 1. We will come back after the break-a-rooney. Hello, hello, welcome back. It's me, Atlas, and we are getting back into the series for game number 2. T1 did take game number 1 pretty handily. Liv Sandbox proving that even with the lead, they couldn't really stick the landing, so definitely going to have to come back and make it work.
You and I talked about it during the break. I think it's going 3. You think it's a 2-0.
I think it's 2-0.
I think the way in which T1 won that game, which was in part due to some really great play from Bout, but also due to Liv Sandbox opting into some bad fights, kind of snowballed away from them. I think that Liv Sandbox still are the stronger team.
Yundo also 2-0.
All right, Yundo also feeling like it's 2-0. I actually think it's a pretty good chance that Liv Sandbox bounce back because they're a really good team. The draft was a problem. And the theme of today has kind of been bad draft in game 1, better draft in game 2, win game 2. That's kind of the start of today, and two fairly evenly matched teams.
I think they're going to pick Engage Braum again.
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure the Liv Sandbox coaching staff, the guy who's got like a goatee and looks really handsome, he like definitely listens to English broadcasts, and he knows like, oh man, good point.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
Goatee guy is he knows. I actually don't know who he is, but he knows. 9-game Nigel? Yeah, I think so.
This is just an 8-game Eduardo today, I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was 8-game Edmund.
Sometimes, yeah, but today it's Eduardo.
All right, that's fine.
Probably because Achilleos is in Cancun. That's probably the reason.
Liv Sandbox like the blue side?
Yes.
Unsurprising.
In fact, I am unsurprised, honestly.
Okay. Honestly, I agree.
Eduardo. Yeah. That is the current status of Achilleos. 7-game Senna. Could be.
Liv Sandbox fans here with the cute, sad, crying bear, hoping for the victory.
See, there he is, the goatee coach.
Yeah.
He was just listening to the English broadcast.
Uh-oh, the music is getting to the hey. It's about to bark.
It's going to start
It's going to bark. It's going to bark.
Wait for it. It kind of already happened, but it gets more pronounced later on, I think.
Yeah.
It's like they're in the background.
Oh,
it changed.
Okay.
Whoop. All right, game number 2. I almost said 1. Almost forgot that game 1 happened. You know, it's been a long day, right?
Yeah.
4 games. It's too long.
It's early days. Well, let's see what the draft is going to look like here. As Poppy and Tristana, we hate these Yordles. They're gone.
Yeah. The Yordles, not a fan. Is there any other Yordle that we should consider banning? Is Nico a Yordle? Is mayonnaise an instrument?
You lost me on that one.
Have you never seen SpongeBob?
I have, but I mean, there's a lot of episodes.
You've never seen that episode? It's one of the most famous episodes. When they do like the Super Bowl, basically, underwater, and they're like making a band. And Patrick raises his hand. He's like, "Is mayonnaise an instrument?"
I don't think I've seen that, but that's okay.
Band geeks, yeah, it's one of the best. You should watch it actually tonight. The Vi band gonna come through, so they say, "Well, Vincenzo, you've had enough.
All right,
we gotta take you off that one."
I just spent, while you were doing that whole bit about SpongeBob, I spent that entire time on my phone discovering who Goatee Man is. His ID is Simpson. Simpson.
Oh yes. It's
so
perfect.
Simpson knows that Braum engaged. He knows, he learned
Simpson.
that it is not going to be the way, so they're not going to do it. Now the Jace pick here, nice denial of it, the Jace Maokai here, but doesn't have a lot of setup in this draft here for T1 just yet.
Surely it'll be Nico jungle. You need a strong AP jungler. You're not going to get Kaisa. You're not going to play... Oh. Uh-oh. Do you think they'll play Ziggs? I don't think you can play Ziggs. It's T1. I don't even want to see that.
Could try to, like, just lock Varus here. and hope for
AP
the best.
Varus?
Yeah, lethality Varus.
Rumble?
Rumble Jungle.
Rumble Jungle?
Forest?
Rumble Jungle?
Forest is a
In 2023?
He's a known Rumble player. It's known. I don't think this season Valdez frantically looks through the stats.
Yeah, no, he's 2-0 on Rumble Jungle.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, all right.
Well, not when
Let's
we've
do
been
it.
casting him, but he played it in playoffs last season.
All right.
Okay. So, Varus, like I was talking about, also going to get banned. They are aware of it. Honestly, they're aware of the possibility that it could be really strong here in this draft.
Are they going to ban Ezreal? I think that's an interesting question.
I think probably.
Varus, Ezreal. We saw that.
What other poke champs besides Ziggs are you really thinking about here?
Well, I don't think you want to go Ziggs with the Rumble.
I don't think so either. So I think Ezreal probably fits the bill better than anything else. Ornn, also a good shout here. No Jax into this Rumble. See what
Senna Rumble bot. Flex.
what is, like, Live Sandbox don't have a lot of great options here, I feel like, into this.
How about Jhin?
No, I don't think so. Okay.
I mean, you would have really nice poke. The Ashe is okay, but you just kind of got dunked on by Smash's Ezreal.
I think he's probably just going to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Do you take it here so
He
that
also
you don't potentially get taken away?
could also play Draven. Okay, well, there's not going to show. All this coming through.
This is what they did in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, Live Sandbox, do you just go, like, Scion here? And try to go Scion Aphelios? Like, how do you actually stand up to the poke in this draft? You don't have anything you can really offer yourself. We know that Nico's going mid. Xayah into Jace. We talked about how it can be okay, but I don't really love it here. And Aatrox!
A T-Rex hovered. Will they lock it in for the Maokai support angle?
What if it's Renekton jungle and he just plays Rumble into the Aatrox? He's just like, I got this. I know this. I know this matchup.
Aatrox, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
I think it's just an Ezreal angle here. What else you want to play?
Aatrox is pretty good into Rumble, yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of sustain. You can take trades really well.
I mean, you just get on top of the Rumble pretty easily. So
it feels better than like the other picks.
It's. I mean,
actually, you're not even playing into Rumble.
No, I know.
You're playing into Renekton.
That's. I was just joking. Like, I was joking. He could play it.
Where
as
am I?
Misfortune. I was joking. Like, what if he wants to play it? He wants to prove he knows the matchup. But yeah, he's definitely going jungle.
Misfortune.
So I think the problem
All right,
is
3 games.
the problem is that like you can't play Jace, or you can't play Renekton mid here, so you can't flex the Jace into the Aatrox, which can be with the proper support a fun matchup to play, but not with Rumble jungle. So like mid with very little jungle support in the early game with this Rumble doesn't feel great. Top definitely winnable for the Aatrox. You have a Viego who can do a lot for both of these solo lanes. The Xayah is the part of the draft for Live Sandbox that I don't love, but it can work out, right? You can Featherstorm away from one of the pokes. You could dodge the Misfortunal or the Jace Shock Blast or the Equalizer, but you can only do that once. So if Xayah gets blown up, you lose a ton of damage in this fight, in team fights rather, for Live Sandbox. So positioning for Diablo has to be basically perfect. There's just so many threats. You're saying you think maybe with the Misfortune this is going 3. I'm looking at this draft feeling like, I don't know, I think it's going to be pretty hard for Live Sandbox. I think the ease of execution here for T1 is press R together and win the game.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I think Misfortune definitely has some angles onto the Xayah in the lane as well. You can just kind of poke her out with your E. You can essentially just have a good time there, and then if you get out of lane, it just feels like Misfortune, it's not meta for a reason. It's not that good, So
Rumble jungle and Maokai support, is Korean Challenger completely lost? ?
I think he's lost, but I like your name, Vlade Wadinsky. Very nice. Obviously a reference to Valdez. Yeah, Rumble MF was a combo before these players were born, pretty much. Well, we're getting onto the Rift right now. It just feels like
the very first time.
Feels like the yeah, we're going to night games.
Yeah.
It's happening.
I'm chilling, you know? I'm here for it. I'm ready for my 9-game Monday. Feels like fate has finally caught up with us. It's our turn, Valdez.
How about Dark Harvest Rumble?
With Red Smite? Yeah.
We are damaging.
Crippling shot?
I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
In this case.
I'm into it.
Small reminder that Diablo was 2 years old when LoL was released.
Small reminder.
Small, not a large one, just a relatively
friendly reminder.
Yeah.
If anyone ever sends a message that
friendly.
says friendly reminder, by the way, I always get so mad. I don't know why, but it really annoys me when people say friendly reminder. It's basically like, I'm going to say this thing that will annoy you, and you're probably already aware of it, but I'm just going to say it anyways. And I'm going to say friendly to make it seem like it's less annoying. I'm like, no, just say, hey, don't forget to do this. Don't say friendly reminder. Because it's usually not friendly, Valdez.
Just say it.
Yeah, just remind me. You don't have to say it's a friendly reminder. It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. I'm not going to hate you if you do that, by the way, if anyone out there likes to say friendly reminder. I'm just saying, like, don't say it to me.
Friendly reminder, I really like working with Valdez. How do you feel now? Conflicted.
Well, that's not really a reminder. That's not really... Friendly reminder, I would like you to do something.
He's reminding you that
is what I'm talking about.
He likes us.
A friendly reminder, don't forget to do this obnoxious task that you've probably already done.
Friendly reminder, they picked misfortune. Not trying to be offensive, but the CL stream is pretty great. Yeah, that's true. It's okay.
Toby the GOAT.
I think he's a human, actually.
Do you think he was actually found on Chovy's goat farm?
Maybe.
Is that where he got picked up?
Is that where T1 get their talent? From the farm. It makes sense. It works. Can we start spreading hateful reminders? Hateful reminder. I dislike you. I like that. Yeah, just go to YouTube chat. You'll find a lot.
I do think that's pretty funny. I like you today, chat. Chat, you turned it around today. You know,
dude, Mondays are so much better.
Yeah.
I feel like Tuesdays, they're always hungover.
A little fatigued from the 3-game Monday.
Yeah.
And they're also a little bit depressed. They only get 2 games. A little bit harder to handle. Yeah, Poby does like to play Jace. They like to pick it for him. And even without the Maokai, he's like, I'm doing it. We'll see how well he does it as he picks up the early tier here and will teleport back to lane. Early game against the Nico can be tough for a lot of champions. Jace, though, usually can hold his own.
Dark Harvest flashing onto Vincenzo. He's just going to flash away. That's generally what happens. Now, Guti is wildly out of position, so he's thinking about flashing himself. There's the stun, very nice from Vincenzo, but Guti just trying to hold onto his flash, doesn't want to use it. There's the root. They're thinking about fighting this one, actually. Looking to turn, kiting this one back. Very nice. As the Q does come down, and Guti will, in fact, hold on to his flash.
Dark Harvest!
Did he get it?
I think he got one off when they flashed it. I thought he did.
No?
Looked like he did to me.
You have to
check
be,
the Dark Harvest
you
stacks.
have to be low.
Yeah, half
I don't
health.
think... Oh, little combo? Little combo for the gentleman? Nope. Not this time.
Oh, little fury?
He's got a lot of fury. He's going to use it on his W. Gets in Q and first blood. As Dahl says, yeah, Aatrox's not too great into me.
Top gap is what he's saying, man. He's writing it in all chap. Top div. Top chai. All right, that's what he's
Solo
writing
bolo.
right now. Solo bolo. Flashes the 3rd Q. Easy peasy. Diok's like, all right, flash for the 1st Q. And chains. No.
He didn't have flash to flash with his Q3, so Dahl just flashes, and he's like, okay, you're dead.
He's actually flashes the chains to avoid the Q3, and all right. That was a solo queue moment.
And he was already kind of struggling in this lane. And so he went for the kill, but fortunately not calculated. What's the opposite of calculated? Guess stat?
Haphazardly done? I don't know.
Well, 6 here for Dahl. He's pushing the envelope with this Dominus, but not going to get a kill, and Daya holds on to his World Ender.
Lots of flashes down in this game. It's 6 minutes. You know, we've got 3 flashes left. 70% flashes on the Rift right now. A lot of action, a lot of early game going on.
Dominus.
There you go.
Not Dominus, Dominus.
Dominus.
Not calculated, not a good help. Thank you.
Pretty dominant
I just
performance.
Feel like doing it.
Dominant performance, you could say, Valdez.
Yes. Here's Forest. He would love to gank the flashless Aatrox, but World Ender available. Is it enough? No, not with the stun. And the bullying of the Aatrox continues.
So this is the problem with Aatrox when you start to fall behind. He can't really stop ganks. Like, he's just a paperweight when he is significantly behind like this. And World Ender not going to be enough to save him in this case, best as he tried.
How do you feel about the Renekton skin?
This is my Renekton toy. I love this one.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. It's what I
a good
play.
one.
I actually use this chroma specifically a lot.
Wow.
Because it looks like, the...
Is it because his name is Dahl, which means moon in Korean, and you are a wolf?
No, that's not related, but I just really like the skin.
I think it's not a coincidence.
I think it's just a coincidence in this case. Is MF ult gonna hit? Root comes through and smash. Does he flash for this?
Looking for the kill. Plan B gonna tick down. Diablo trying to avoid it. He will have to flash at the end.
Oof.
And
T1.
so they do trade it back.
This is such a strong showing here.
Yes, now he's getting in there onto Vincenzo. Here's Dahya for the gank, funnily enough, as is Dahl. Now he's going to take a bunch of damage, but Renekton from ahead, feeling pretty good at this point in time with the Iron Spike Whip and played his Steel Caps finished.
Yeah. A significant lead, you could say. It's just kind of T1 winning everywhere at the moment, as Liv Sandbox are still going to try to start this Herald up with Equalizer available for Forest now.
Yeah, this is very dangerous, as the Equalizer is actually perfect. Like, actually one of the best Equalizers I've seen in a long time. And now Dahl just survives forever. How did he survive through all of that? He finally goes down to the Nico, but it's not a good trade at all. As did they get the Rift Heralds?
They did, I believe.
No.
Oh, no?
No, they did not. So Goody went in there, and, you know, he got the Rift Herald, but he also died, so probably not worth, I guess. Although the Rift Herald at this point would just be pretty huge. T1 could just drop it in top.
Ah, he hit the eye, okay.
Yeah.
That looked a little bit strange, because I was like, how do kill Rift Herald without smite? Forest here, he gets engaged on. Nothing you can do about that, but this Rift Herald fight will skip the bottom engage. Yeah, it's a 2v3. The rest of the team is coming over, but they're so late that it doesn't matter. The Equalizer, as you say, is perfectly angled, and that's just instantly the Aatrox gone. And then Dahl is Renekton. He's going to live for a really long time. Vincenzo pushed away from this Herald. And then Guti poke him in the eye. Okay. So he did, in fact, secure that and the money that comes with it, but they won't be able to get the eye. And Rumble has 3 kills.
A good day.
Yeah, he really is, isn't he?
Yeah. You know, their last match, it was against Kwangdo Freaks. They got kind of Shrek'd 0-2, so maybe they're like, okay, you know, no funny business. Or perhaps it's just that, okay, well, they don't really have a chance for playoffs, so they're just having fun. I don't know, less pressure. Not sure. I mean, both of these teams on a similar level in terms of scoreline, but T1 looking like a much better team so far today.
Yeah, definitely. The Sandbox into this draft too, kind of missing the boat in terms of, you know, what you can't do. Like, there are certain things you shouldn't do. There's certain fights you shouldn't opt into. And it's kind of reminiscent of Game 1, right? You know, opting into some kind of awkward fights and not using the comp to its strengths. And the Braum was a problem, but there were other problems as well.
The Bromblem.
Sure.
That is something someone could say. I wouldn't say it though.
Okay. The Ghost Blade is done for Smash. Lethality Lethality MF.
Yep.
Misfortune is the way that it is being played right now. Lots of damage with the Rumble, lots of burst in the early parts of the game, and going to be relevant later on as well, obviously.
Yeah. And if you get ahead with T1's comp, you start hitting like some of those early lethality items on your Jace, your MF, your Rumble's already really fed. He's going to have a Night Harvester here, I believe, maybe a Protobelt. Either way, he is going to have his first item very early on, and he's going to start actually nuking people alongside of his double lethality lanes. They also get the individual Infernal Drake with a Hextech Soul. T1 looking to snowball this one out into the stratosphere, Wolf.
Yeah, it does start to feel that way. Forrest definitely pretty close to getting his Mythic, as you mentioned. And Dahl is going to be the dive target here. Renekton, who does have ult and flash. I don't know about this. I don't think it's going to be very successful.
How about 3-man dive?
I don't know if you want to commit that much, but they think better of it. They'll be walking away. So I think as Liv Sandbox, what you really need to do is just get better setup on these objectives, because you're not going to win a fight with the poke damage that T1 have if you're not set up first. And you won't be able to engage with your Aatrox and your Nico if you don't have that set up. You can just use the Maokai ult to get that prio and then hope to win the fight. Otherwise, feels pretty unwinnable. Aatrox wave clear in action. Cleared it.
Yep. Already cleared before you could finish that sentence. Yeah. That's what he does. Unfortunately, he doesn't win into Renekton. So
he's got his Gore Drinker first.
Yeah.
Beat him by like a full 5 seconds on that one. Look at that. Dahl just picking it up now.
0-3 up in levels. How did that happen? Well, he was there for a second, I guess.
10 CS up, you know.
Mm-hmm. Huge.
Large.
Large. Sizable.
Night Harvester is done now. Jace picking up the Dirk.
How many Dirks have been purchased in this game already? 3 so far.
Yeah.
How many Dirks can one team hold? What do you think?
Generally 5 is pretty much the maximum.
5?
Yeah.
I said one team.
Yeah. I mean, how many do you think?
5 is not a round number, though. I think it would be like 4 or 6.
Why would you think that?
I would think 6, probably. The maximum? Ours is just getting bullied.
Just the maximum that's likely, you know. One player
in this game.
Well, I mean, just in any game, one Dirk per player. It's like Pyke support. I could see it, you know.
But no. Dirk builds into items.
No, I mean, but at one point in time, like each player has 1 Dirk. That's like the maximum that they would hold, right?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you can make those Dirks into items and then they still exist. They're just combined into
so you're talking
else.
about how many could you buy total? Yeah. But that's not how many they're holding. Because once you turn into an item, you're not holding the Dirk anymore.
You kind of are. I mean, it's an item that was made out of a Dirk.
Yeah, I just don't think you're really holding it anymore. I mean, we could agree to disagree on this one.
You know, back in 2018, I was casting with Papa Smithy, and we were, you know, there was a player who was going lethality. I forget which champion it was, but he had multiple Dirks, and Papa Smithy signed off on it.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to sign off on Liv Sandbox trying to contest this into these choke points.
This is the rule of Korean League of Legends. You must contest the second river. This is the way it goes. This time the equalizer not that great. I mean, it's going to catch plan B. That's just the support. He's just going to walk away. Daihyuk's winning this trade with his World Ender. The Rift Herald is going wild right now, and the MF ult is gigantic. In goes Goody, though. He's trying to trade here onto Forest. Will pick this one down, but now the Croc is going mad in the back line looking for Goody. That one is not going to hit as Povey does get in, and now with the Dominus down, I think that there's a chance to turn this one. The Aatrox now, and Liv Sandbox, they find the angle. Triple kill for the Jace, but it might not matter.
You mean the
the Viego, sorry, that's
the
confusing.
Temporary Jace?
Yeah, the temporary Jace.
Okay, so despite having choke point control here, the Aatrox and the Viego just win this fight on their own. Guti breaks through, and look at this sacrifice from Plan B, actually, to keep Bout and Smash away from the fight as long as possible. And Vincenzo, he's used his kit. He's a Rumble now, so he can't do anything. Or sorry, Forrest, excuse me, I'm all over the place. Vincenzo is going to pop off in this fight because he gets to be the entirety of T1's comp, apparently. As he flies through and gets a triple. Now, T1's still ahead, by the way, wildly enough. And they did pick up the eye. Bout was able to secure that. But definitely a little bit concerning how that fight went. And this Viego is going to be very relevant now. And I think Dahyuk really showcased, yeah, the laning phase, not his greatest, but setting up for that fight and zoning out Dahl, pretty well done.
It's just a really broken up fight. DMF not really able to get a lot of value, and I really like how Goody was like, yeah, I don't care about do some Ash. I am going to go ult on the rest of the team. T1 did get this Rift Herald. We'll be able to drop it in here. Might be able to pick this up. Not a lot of defense right there, but Lift Sandbox are coming in from the right side, 3 of them, so just going to be the crash. And that's the end of that. Got a Drake up. Lift Sandbox considering setting up for this one. As there's Zeal, gonna catch Bout and Forest, and the follow-up is really nice. The equalizer, though, in the choke is pretty huge, and they go very far into the jungle, but Dahyuk now kind of alone. He is going to be taken out as well. That is just an ace in about under 10 seconds, Wolf.
Yeah, it turns out equalizer and choke points is pretty strong. We have an MF ult as well. Look how much damage. The 2 of them together doing about 6k, plus the Renekton in a choke. It's like an onion situation. That's what I was told to always visualize in terms of layers. Well, that's a turret. It's going to go down as well. So first brick on top of it all, and going in to a choke point with equalizer available and MF ult. If that's not a, if we're not going to liken this to a meat grinder, I don't know what we're going to liken it to a meat grinder. Like, they were like, okay, choke point, and 3, 2, 1, ace. That was, this is the frustrating part about, like, Live Sandbox has definitely had games where I think they absolutely know what the enemy comp is doing. They know how to play around it. They're going to be respectful of it. And then they've had games like this where Simpson is going to be having a talk. Simpson's going to be having a talk with the rest of the squad after this.
Yeah, for sure. Are the casters bored? I'm bored with your bad takes. Dark Shadow Blade. I don't know.
I'm not really bored. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I was also hoping the guy with NHL in his name wouldn't be.
Look. I look at this game as an opportunity to learn. And Live Sandbox, I think they've learned a lot.
All right, well, they're going to go in on Forest once again. This time they actually burst him down. Goody slowed enough so they can't quite get onto Poby with the thingy. Follow the Pop Blossom, that's the name. In goes Bout. He's about to 100-0 everybody, and he's going to set it up here for the Misfortune and Poby to just push underneath that turret and take them out. Diablo, meanwhile, is just alone up there, and we got a little fight between the top laners. They're trying to exist alongside of the rest of the game. Imagine that.
Still learning about this. We're still learning here. TP.
Okay, that's gonna work. Diablo picks up a kill.
Give me that Poby camera. Give me that Poby cam. I need to see that. He saves the turret as well. Oh boy. Give me that Poby cam. We were just watching Smash for some reason there. I wanted to see Poby. As we're still going into fights like this, you know, look at the equalizer value, the Nature's Grasp angle, not ideal, and then guess what? That turret's not going to save you. MF comes in and says goodbye. And then Poby backs under a turret. He's caught, but we won't show that part.
Yeah.
He thought the turret would disappear, but it didn't.
It didn't. It didn't go down. It survived at 22 health. And this is what happens, especially when champs like MF and Jace get ahead. Like, the enemy champs become paper. You've all played against that assassin who's building lethality, right? And they have the kits that you can't really get away from. But the poke from MF and Jace when they are ahead, and you're not building armor, and they're holding on to at least 2 Dirks, it's going to be palpable. You're going to feel it.
There's so much that goes into like our discussion about easy versus finesse, right? And out, he's just gonna be like, "Thanks for your ult."
Yoink! Thanks for the Maokai ult.
And he flashed, but who cares? He's got Hex Flash.
Oh, he didn't get turbo timed out, dude. I banned him. Yeah, he was beating. Anyway, Forrest gonna land this equalizer. This one not quite as good. Tries to flash in and will die to the Viego. As now Vincenzo. Viego Chenzo? Sure. Never gonna say that ever again. We're gonna put that one on the permaban list.
I think Poby really wants to get that turret. Revenge of Poby. Vincenzo, can he stun those minions? Can he keep them away? Don't keep me in suspense. Is that turret living or not?
I
think it's living. Yeah,
it
lived. He like tanked it up for a second. The turret did the work.
What if Live Sandbox win and that turret lives on like 22 health? What is the lowest that a turret has lived at? Especially an outer turret where a team has won. I just wonder, do we have that stat somewhere?
I don't think we have that stat anywhere.
What
I don't
about
think
like
anyone's
Riot
ever thought about it
API,
before.
like they have the stats somewhere?
I don't think anyone's ever looked into it.
Maybe they haven't looked into it, but don't you think they would have like at least turret health somewhere stored in the vaults of the programming somewhere?
I mean, if it's in the replay files,
Yeah.
someone could create a program to identify that, but it would take a lot of work, and I don't think anyone cares that much, unfortunately for you, Valdez. I don't think you're ever going to know, but you can just, well, never mind. I was going to say, you can just keep 22 in mind for next time this happens, but never mind. So, unlucky. All right, this is where we can make a stand. The Sandbox turn is good here. Okay, not the greatest equalizer. This is an opportunity.
Going on in, Moody gonna get that root down. The Forest holds his ground, and again, the damage is just huge. The Pop Blossom only hits 2 tanks, and that MF ult was just ginormous. And now Diablo isolated on the top side of this fight will get the pullback onto just the MF. And yes, another broken up fight will go the way of T1. Unsurprising.
So close, though. The Sandbox so close on this. If the Pop Blossom hits Forest, or they're able to actually get on top of the MF a little bit faster, it could look totally different, but it's a massive ultimate from Smash, and then he is able to, because he's so massively ahead and so fed, as he's getting another Dirk that he's not holding, but he has purchased, is able to just instantly kill Diablo.
Dirks. Let's say that.
As Cody, you know, he's not really the main character of this fight, but watch Smash with this ult here. Is this Pop Blossom not great? Daya just disappears, just goes away, and then Diablo gets like 2 shot, 3 shot, and it was a really nice play color, but ultimately not enough. And that might have been your last chance to live Sandbox in this game. You're now at 9,000 gold behind. Everybody is really far behind, and you can see the Pop Blossom didn't hit Forest, but it also just didn't do damage to anybody else. He is still sitting on 1 item. Jace on 2.5, you know. We're Shadow Flaming.
We're Shadow Flaming.
It's okay.
T1 looking to end our hopes at a 9-game Nigel today.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, the comp just seems like it was going to be too easy. It seemed like it was going to be too easy for them to win with, and I guess turns out it was.
T1 sieging here. Dahl going into mid to become the 1 of the 4-1. Just for a moment, the hook comes in. Valdez is alone. The rest of his team is running away. They're like, nope, we're just leaving him alone. The stopwatch is going to get mass value. That MF ult is just disgusting damage now, as that will be the end of 2 of them. Penta angle here for Smash. The team will allow it. He's going to take out Plan B just like that. It's a triple kill. This legendary Misfortune is looking for the Penta. There's the Quadra. And one auto onto Diablo would do it. He doesn't have flash though. The team, you got to get in there. Wait, where's the MF? Where's the MF? What? Smash is just ending the game.
Actually doesn't care about Pandas. He cares about winning.
Are they not gonna end the game now?
He doesn't care about Pandas.
That's challengers, baby.
He cares about winning.
That's challengers. All right, the turn's gonna go down though. As we see Forest still looking for the Penta angle. It's not gonna happen, and that's 1,000 gold over to Diablo. As this is challengers, baby. That's all I have to say. Wolf put his mic down.
Why? Why? I mean, if you're going to go for the Penta, calm that you're going for the Penta. If we're sending our Nautilus, if T1 lose this game after Nautilus hooking the fountain while the rest of the team is hitting the Nexus turret, so there's not a huge wave there, I don't know what anybody's going to say about it, but it's not going to be good. Actually, I know what people are going to say about it. It's not going to be good. I don't know how explicit it will be said, but it is definitely not going to be happy. Now, they're still massively ahead in this game, don't get me wrong, and they got an inhibitor with this as well. It's the Pop Blossom here. MF ult. Yeah. MF ult was big. And then Dahl is just walking towards them with a massive rumble and massive MF following. Just not playable here. Smash has to flash away because he's scared he's going to get Blade called to oblivion. And then
Smash is like, no, I'm hitting the turrets.
We just had an incident. As Baron buff also wears off, it looks like, I think, there at the end. So that's not great. Because they're just going to push top and do it again. Yeah.
And, you know, I think
they should win the game. They should win the game.
Should. But the angle, okay, coming in here from the Aatrox, and immediately we have Dahl going down. Oh, that equalizer this time was pretty good. In goes Plan B, and out goes Plan B. He's looking for a Plan B. Here's Goody. He's not going to hit it, only hitting that front line. But down goes the Jace, down goes the Nautilus, and the Force not really working here. The MF ult, though, is huge once again. But if you can get on top of Smash, it might happen as there's the Blade Caller, but Forest is left standing. Looking for the kill here on the Diehug. Just needs one more rocket.
He's not going to get it, though.
He's not going to get it, and he's not going to end the game.
Yeah, Diehug's just going to go heal up in the base here, and Forest just going to have to walk home, can clear this wave and probably take this turret out, but doesn't have a lot of space to work with here. It's literally Smash 1v9ing this game at this point.
Oh my god. 8,200 damage. 7,700 damage.
And Forest is going to solo the Drake. That's not soul, by the way. It's just going to be soul points, so it feels like a nice consolation prize here, but Smash is like, guys, I don't care about this. I want to win the game. I'm going to try to carry. And I mean, this is just a really nice angle for Dahyuk, right? Dahl goes so low here. The equalizer is phenomenal. But guess what? There's no follow-up here. And look at the great split here of Live Sandbox. They get the GA, they take out the Jace. And even though it wasn't the greatest Pop Blossom of all time, it's good enough to win this fight as Vincenzo goes in, sacrifices himself, buys just the space that Diablo needs to help get that kill. And now we're grouping up for the next Baron. 40 seconds to go. T1.
I'm worried, Wolf. I'm pretty worried.
I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't be worried because they have such a huge lead.
It's
but
a
yeah,
mental thing.
exactly. Like,
it's all mental. Like T1, if they just play it safe from here, they will win this game. But I'm not convinced that in the current mental state, with what has happened in the last 5 minutes, that they will play perfect.
Some pretty big flash advantages here for Live Sandbox. Guti has flash ult with his belt, so he's got a really long engage range here for this fight. Diablo, you know, still a little bit behind here, but he's a real 80 carry, does a lot. Plan B can set up for him. Vision here, pretty good for T1 though. Poby is also quite large, but it's really the Smash show. You only get one ult. Let's see if they can break his Edge of Night.
They're not even doing Baron. Yeah, that's pretty smart. They're just waiting. Well, that was interesting. The equalizer, though, is gigantic, and the MF ult on top of it is good. And there you go. T1, they play it safe, they wait, they have to check the Baron because they know, especially with no Nexus turrets, that they can't stop a Baron.
The Sandbox are like, they're weakest when we're in our base. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Go back.
Surely they end, right?
They're going for the kills. Let's try to get the Penta again. Smash doesn't have enough kills. 16 is not enough. He needs 20. Wait for them to respawn. Well, that was a very nice hook. Diablo will be forced to go into the Feather Storm. As now, Guti, a little bit of a desperation pop blossom, but this one is over. It's over! As down will go the rest of the two guys to the equalizer, and that will be the end of it. Some shenanigans, but T1 will bring 2-0 home.
You know those moments where it looks like the game is over and the team frantically defends anyways just in case something goes wrong? Like just in case the other team doesn't hit the Nexus for some reason. You always try until the end. While we don't surrender in professional League of Legends, it very rarely actually becomes relevant to actually try when the game is 100% over. But T1 reminded us that it's not over till it's over. And you know, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of celebrating after that one. I think there's definitely going to be a lot, and that's the frustrating way you can taint a win like this, where you played the early game extremely well, the mid game was fantastic, you snowballed, but then you had a little bit too much fun there at the end, and if you're a coach, you're definitely going to be not feeling too happy with that. But with the result, 2-0 here for T1, neither of these teams were still in the running for playoffs, but it does push T1 up an extra win and 2 additional game score to finish out the regular season.
Well, T1 going to be happy they have Smash this time around. He kept his cool. He knew what the angle was, and we don't have a 9-game Nancy, no 9-game Nigel, no 9-game Ninny. Okay, we are just going into either a 7 or an 8-gamer because, as was stated at the beginning of the day, we are the cringe duo, and we don't bring 9 gamers, we don't bring 6 gamers, we only bring 7 or 8 gamers.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Generally 8, but sometimes 7, which is also cringe, a little bit more, it's a little bit less cringe, I guess.
T1 can go up to 6 wins, and with their current game score, they're actually 8 behind Bro. So if Bro lose both of their games 2-0 and go down to -12, and T1 win all of theirs, they'll actually tie at -12, and there could be a tiebreaker for 7th place.
Whoa.
But
7th
otherwise, this is really just a fun game here for T1.
Yeah.
And it looked like they were having fun.
They were. By the way, guys, yesterday was Smash's birthday. So he picks up the POG, he gets to play the day after his birthday, and 17-3, 1200 DPM. Is Misfortune a champion, Wolf, or is Smash a gamer?
I think Smash is a gamer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he played very well, but I think there were also issues with how Liv Sandbox played around the early mid game. The Aatrox pick was kind of interesting. I think we need a little bit more data, but it seemed pretty okay. You know, obviously outside of lane made a pretty big impact actually in some of those team fights, and I hope to see more of it so we can learn, maybe in our last series of the evening, whether it'll be relevant in LCK or not. This one isn't enough to sell me, but it looked okay. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Especially with all the bans we had towards 80 carries. You know, it worked better with the Rumble Jungle than perhaps an Ezreal would. It's a lot more hard lethality damage rather than the mixed from the Ezreal. So, yeah, I guess in some circumstances, maybe we will see more of this Misfortune. Maybe just this specific one, but I'm excited for the future. The Penta Rush almost had me. Was the vote for Smash unanimous? I'm curious.
Yeah, I am curious about that. You and I both voted for Smash. So we are not going to be a part of this interview, but we will just hang out here with you guys for a little bit and ask Gundo questions.
Oh, sorry, I was bugging there for a little bit.
That's okay.
Glitching out, you know. Whoa. Okay, we're back. How is it only 30% of damage? Well, it turns out...
Because Rumble did a lot, too.
Yeah, when you're with a Rumble and also lethality Jace, that even if it wasn't, you know, super important damage, Poby was still doing a lot of it. Even the Renekton did a lot of damage in his lane, so turns out he had a lot of lanes with damage. So There you go.
Thank you for that explanation. Our ties match. It's true.
Where does the term shadow flaming come from? From the item Shadow Flame. He asked it 3 times. Right?
Yeah.
You said shadow flaming because he bought a shadow flame.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah,
I
he's
said,
shadow
we're
flaming.
shadow flaming. That's what I mean is like he's buying shadow flame.
Yeah.
On
It's not like
Nico,
a real
which is-
thing, but
Basically, I was saying like, it's not my favorite build, but I guess when you're this behind, you have to try something. So yeah.
So your ties match, by the way, same pattern but reversed.
But then not reversed because it's not really.
Is Wolf's tie black and blue, or is it gold and
I don't know.
white and gold?
I don't
think
know
it
the
was.
meme. Yeah, I don't know the meme.
You know the meme where
I mean,
the
I know it,
dress
but I
is
don't know
like
which
the
colors they are.
Colors? Yeah, I think it was white and gold.
How big of a jungle was Forest today? Pretty Amazonian, yeah. Towards the end of that game, mostly pretty good, pretty big.
Not again. Howdy, pals. What's up, Guppy Fish? No Sunfire, no damage percent. It's easy math. He gets it. 8-game Eduardo? Or what are these names? Laurel and what? 7-game Severus Snape? What's for dinner tonight? Pizza.
Pizza. We talked about pizza earlier, and then we just had to get pizza. There was no other way.
That's the way it goes.
It's probably ready for us. Or maybe it won't be. Maybe they thought it was going to 3 like I did. Well, I thought it was going to 3 until I saw that draft from T1, and I was like, I don't think there's any way they messed this up.
Yeah.
I was ready to
I
trust.
was like a little bit iffy. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of wacky. But it ended up being the most important pick.
What color of a wall for bedroom is your favorite? I actually generally don't know. Like,
What?
I had blue walls, and then I had gray walls.
Baby blue is a good one. It's a very calming color.
I
Lavender.
have Korean colored walls in my room now because all Korean apartments have the exact same off-white wallpaper. Like literally, there is no other color. It's only off-white. No other color exists,
Very
so
true.
it's not really topical anymore. And obviously, if you don't own your apartment, if you rent, as I do, then you don't get to choose. Generally
What's the
speaking.
time on the watch, Wolf? I'm not allowed to answer because he's asking you.
6:49 and 22 seconds.
There you go.
He wants to know the delay, I guess.
You gave him like the exact time.
I finished 22
Like your watch
as it went
is-
to 22. Like I started saying 22
as
it was ticking over, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the exact.
Do you still eat banchan even if you eat pizza? Generally not, even though they give you like these sweet pickles, which we're not very big fans of. So MF was picked at their... Is Yuno giving us the interview questions?
Ooh,
Picked in their scrims and it was good? There you go.
Coach's
Wolf,
call.
I saw all your army stew ads. Glad to see you're a man of culture. Do you prefer bean and cheese in your stew?
Yes to both. Yes to both. That's the best way.
It was
I know
the
a lot of
coach's
people
call on
don't-
the pick.
Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like the beans, but I do. But I don't
I like
force
the
people to
beans
eat it.
too. Yeah. There was Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike Consistent Zero, Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and the next in the series, Counter-Strike 2. Where did the 2 come from?
That's the second major release of Counter-Strike Global Offensive,
Yeah.
which
think
was the
it's-
biggest one.
Yeah. With or without bones, depends on the situation. With bones can be good. As long as you're like not on a date. I mean, we don't go on dates anymore, but you know, if you're like okay to get a little messy and you have time and you're not doing anything that's like, I don't know, playing games or something that requires your hands, then bones are fine. But also boneless are very comfortable, so those are good too.
I generally
depends on the
prefer
situation.
boneless because I don't really eat chicken that much, and when I'm eating chicken, I'm usually kind of like either about to game or watching a movie or something. I don't know. I just don't want my hands to get messy when I'm eating chicken. But I do really enjoy bone-in chicken, but boneless is my go-to. But I'm kind of the odd man out in that way, so I generally don't get what I want.
Valdez, do you have an elite prospects page or is it a dupe? I do actually.
What?
You can check it.
What's
I didn't
that?
put up very big stats, but you can check it. Elite prospects is a hockey. It's like a. How do I even?
Like a database.
It's more for like college is mostly where it gets used for like college career. I mean, I only did a year and I didn't really play on the team, but I did get scouted for that team. But then I left.
Poby said he learned a lot by getting called up suddenly, which is what we expected. So,
but I do have a page. Yeah, Poby. I feel like he was still making some of the same mistakes though. You know, like even when he was sent up, we knew it wasn't going to be like a great look, right? Because we know he's young, he's very new, he needs more time. Like that's just we're not flaming him. It's just people need different levels of time. So I think he still needs a bit of time even here in Challengers, and he looked a little bit better today, but
yeah, I think in game 1 he looked pretty good. There was the weird early fight, but besides that, and he got POG, even though he was not our front runner. He got POG. Might have been a bit of a narrative vote type thing happening, but in our hearts we will what? I don't know.
Game 3.
Oh.
We are not going to have a game 3.
Favorite
Dark
chance
Shadowblade
to watch.
has been having some rough takes today in the chat, but at least he's asking the good questions.
Sure.
Will we have a game 3? No. That's very topical because it was a 2-0.
Weirdly, I like watching Seraphine. I think it's really fun.
All right. Well, on that note, guys, we have to stop comments after that. We will be back after the 30-minute break for series number 3.